I felt like my mission was composed of a lot of several small spiritual moments, and I would recognize them as I would write in my journal that night. But those were so gratifying. When I was able to recognize the small ones, it was great for me, because I realized that I was being a little more spiritually sensitive, and that these things would come more often as I looked for them, because they always happen. Whether you are making an effort or not, the Lord's wanting to put these things in your life. The most particularly notable, I guess, divine help that we received was in my last transfer. We desired amount of baptisms that was, for me personally, it would be close to doubling the amount of baptisms I had my entire mission, because because during my mission, I always thought you do your effort, and the agency of other people doesn't really matter. You can leave that to them. That's not really your job. But upon receiving more information, intelligence, and understanding the gospel, really there are ways to set goals and make plans and use the Lord's help, so that everything that is necessary will happen. If you do it with a good desire, with the righteous heart, and do your part, there's little to no thing that won't happen, as long as you are trying to understand the Lord's will. And so we set this number for goals for baptisms, and we went to it, and we found a family of 5, and the first time on a mission ever that we set a date, and when we got to that date, every single one of them was actually baptized on that date. That had never ever happened before, and it was 5 people, and we were like just crazy happy about it. And all of them are still active. They have callings, and so it's not the fact that that happened, but just my reaction to it, because we had followed this plan so diligently and we had done our best to follow it. It sounds different, but I wasn't surprised at all that it happened. I expected the Lord to fulfill His promise, because I knew we were doing our part. And so that dramatically changed my entire life. That was right at the end of my mission, and that continues to be a forceful factor in my life, and that I know that if I do certain things, I can expect incredible things to happen. And I shouldn't just be amazed and be like, oh, this is just one-time thing, this is like a freak thing. No, I expect them to happen now, and that's all because of this one experience. In all that I say, I talk about what I've received, and I guess sometimes I forget to say directly, why I have it. And it is because of the gospel, but, I just wanted to make sure that it's recognized that this is all enabled through Jesus Christ. So that specifically, as long as your sights are set on Him, it's pretty much impossible to go wrong. It's funny, the next step obviously in life is, there's studies and there's marriage, and I've always thought marriage is going to be the biggest decision I make in eternity, but I don't really worry about it at all. The same with the mission, because I know that if I do what I'm doing, if I worry enough about doing the right things, and if I put things in motion so that I can do the right things, the Lord's not going to let me mess up. And the same thing with school. If I put in an earnest effort because of God's love for me, that everything's going to go well. And that's just another blessing that I have from the mission, is that I know these things will happen, and I know that I don't need to fear anything.